It is time to be bound by the red thread of fate. Up what nerdigans, this is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's anime nerdigan live reaction video is going to be for Black Clover Season 2, Episode 64, titled The Red Thread of Fate. So, since Studio Period is giving us a recap here, I figured, you know what, I'm gonna make some things clear on my thoughts from last week's episode. So, even though we got some really nice innovation, which I gotta give Studio Period props for, because that is just something that has been lacking. Well, consistently lacking, I should say. But my main problem was, especially when it comes to the backgrounds, was because of the lack of color contrast, a lot of the messaging that Tabata was trying to get across, where like Asta was on the border of becoming a full-on demon, was completely lost, and that just really bothered me. And the other thing was you couldn't see, even though the demon was completely off model at the 3-minute 5-second mark, I'm talking about episode 63, you couldn't really see it very well because of that bright red. And the other thing that bothered me in particular when it came to the backgrounds, when we got to the actual fight, was that like this is supposed to be like a demonic fight. Like, not having that reflect in the background just really bothered me. The other thing that bothered me about last week's episode was the character models were completely off, especially, and also Black Meteorite looked awful. That was not Black Meteorite. That was hashtag not my Black Meteorite, especially since you did not get to see how it really affected Ladros. Like, you didn't see like the black coming off him. It was just, oh, it was all sorts of bad. But I will give props to the fact that the animators actually tried to be innovative, because I know a lot of people were like giving the animators a lot of shit for, you know, crayon drawings. No, that wasn't the issue at all. No. The episode had way more issues beyond that. But anyway, I'm really excited for this episode because we get to see Rogue and we get to see Vanessa's flashbacks with how she met Yami and stuff, and I'm really excited for this, and I'm hoping we're gonna get some innovation up in here. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to this episode, which after the opening is going to start with the beginning of chapter 99's adaptation of the manga. Ooh, I'm loving the ethereal, whimsical music we're getting here. This is so perfect. I love it. Even though it's not badassery music, but it's still perfect for this. Okay, I'm gonna just get this out of my system and try not to complain about it so much throughout the episode, but something that is a huge problem, you really see it at the 4-minute 11-second mark, and this has been consistently a huge problem, is Asta does not look as muscular as he should here. Like, and this was a huge problem last week as well. Because if you look at the manga, you see like all these bulging veins coming off of his body, and you don't see that here. You don't see the smoke coming out of his mouth. You don't see like well, you see the veins like under his eyes, like those are correct, but you don't see it like on the side. It just, but the main thing is the muscles. It looks so bad, and that's been the story of Black Clover's anime, is the lack of line work. It's just killing me. It really is. And you could really see it better at like the 4-minute, like 16-17-second mark. Like, and this is where you can really compare it to the panel. It just, like, the positioning looks wrong, because he's supposed to be hunched over. You're supposed to see the smoke coming out. And also the fang is missing, so I don't know where the fuck that is. But, this is where, okay, I'm gonna try not to mention backgrounds, but this is where I'm okay with like the blue mixed with the red. This is where the contrast, this is what I'm talking about with contrast. It works here because it gives you that ethereal feeling, and it also gives you that demonic feeling at the same time. This is what I was looking for last week. And that's why I was complaining a lot last week about backgrounds, because of this contrast that was missing. Looks like we went back to the CGI birds. At the 4-minute 19-second mark, you could see it. Oh man. And the thing that I'm kind of disappointed in here in this frame is the Queen Witch of the Forest doesn't look as sinister as she should be looking. Because if you look at the panel, she's like, her face is all blacked out, and she looks just evil as hell, and you don't see that here. I will say this though, I do like that like the 4-minute, I think it's like 24-second mark. I do like that extreme close-up of her eye as she's looking towards Noelle. I like that. sorry, I said I wouldn't complain about it too much, but God, I gotta hear. Like at the 5-minute 39-second mark, when Asta's like ripping the sword, you really see like how much the lack of line work is really affecting Asta's anatomy, because because he's supposed to be buff as fuck here, and he's not. Oh, it's just driving. Oh God, I'm sorry. It's just driving me goddamn nuts. I will say this: it does look a lot better, but it's still not like he's supposed to be like roid rage muscular. Like, this isn't roid rage muscular Asta like he's supposed to be. And I know we're getting extra dialogue here, and you know what? I don't mind this extra dialogue. It actually works for this scene that we're getting a little bit of extra banter going back and forth, and I really am enjoying it. And this is where, actually, I gotta say this is actually where Studio Period has been really shining, and, or I should say, not Studio Period as a whole, where Black Clover anime has been really shining this entire time, its entire run, is in its writing. The writing is just so freaking nice. But man, I wish it reflected a lot better in its animation and its soundtrack. But voice acting is good too, but you know what I mean. We got some innovative animation. I know you motherfuckers are gonna say this looks like some Crayola drawing, but no, I like this. This is good shit, and this is at the 6-minute 19-second mark when Queen Witch of the Forest is explaining the puppet bindings, and yes, this is some bloodbending type of shit, and this is this is the first series really where it covers bloodbending. The second series being Darwin's Game, and I'm telling you, go read Darwin's Game. It is good, but ooh, I like this. Let's see where we're gonna go with the symbolism. We didn't get that much with it, but the thing is, and I gotta say, this is a huge improvement, is the contrast. We're getting some contrast. Thank goddamn God, we're getting some contrast, because we can actually see the animation and the art, and it's beautiful. Ooh, at the 6-minute 31-second mark, I like that we're getting like the inside of the body and seeing like the blood flow. Ooh, this was a nice touch, Studio Period. I like this. This is good. Not only are we seeing Asta's body and seeing the blood flow, but we're seeing his heart. Ooh, that was a nice touch. I'm not gonna lie. It's not the most accurate looking thing, and anatomically speaking. Like, if you want to see like beautiful anatomy animated, go watch Yamushi Pedal. That TMS Entertainment knows how to animate anatomy. It is beautiful. But considering what we've gotten, this is actually pretty goddamn creative and innovative, and I like this. I like what we're seeing, what's going on in Asta's body. I'd love to see what's going on in Asta's head, but maybe we'll see it. Let's keep going. Okay, something I'm disappointed at, and this is like at the 7-minute 14-second mark, and this is when the Queen Witch of the Forest is telling Vanessa off. Is like, it just zoomed, we're getting that extreme close-up at Queen Witch of the Forest's eyes, and she's looking to the side at Vanessa. And when you see it, look in the manga, it's like a 3-quarter profile, and you see her looking straight at Vanessa. I kind of wish we would have had that, but like, we would have had the 3-quarter, here's how I would have liked to seen it. Like, had the 3-quarter profile, right? And then like, as she's talking, she says the no, and we see the face. And then like, as she's saying, saying her I will kill these people here perfectly to keep you from ever getting such foolish notions again, have like the extreme close-up like going to her eyes, so we see that she means business. If you would have done that, Studio Period, it would have been so much more effective. Okay, I got problems with the Queen Witch of the Forest's eyes. Her iris is way too small, and this is like at the 7-minute like 39-40-second mark. You could see it. Her iris is the pupil is the right size. I'm gonna give you that. Pupil's the right size, but the iris is just way too small. Ooh, it's just annoying the fuck out of me. But I gotta say this as well. I really am liking this soundtrack. I'm liking how eerie and eccentric this soundtrack is. This is nice stuff, Studio Period. Huge improvement from what you guys have been giving us the past few weeks. I do like this at the 7-minute 44-second mark, where we're seeing like when she's talking about the trivial bonds, and you only brought about their death. I like that we're seeing everybody on, crucified. I really like that we're seeing that in her eyes. That's really, really nice. That's a nice touch, Studio Period. I kind of wish, like, similar, because we're transitioning at the 8-minute 8-second mark, we're transitioning into Vanessa's flashback. And I kind of wish we would have, like, similar to how we saw it the Queen Witch of the Forest eye, I kind of wish we would have transitioned via Vanessa's eyes, with like have the extreme close-up of Vanessa's eye, like with the tear falling down and like going through her through her iris and people like just through her eye like transitioning to the flashback. To me, that would have been a lot better, and it would have been extremely creative too. Oh my god, this soundtrack this week is just so gorgeous. I'm sorry, I'm gonna try not to keep talking about the soundtrack, but oh my god, it just fits this episode so perfectly. I'm loving this whimsicalness that we're getting at the 8-minute 12-second mark. So now let's get to Vanessa's flashback here. Little Vanessa's voice actress is perfect. Got no complaints. That's just one thing that Studio Period knows how to do is voice casting. Her voice actress is beautiful. And also the contrast, again, as I've been saying, the color contrast here, like especially for example the 8-minute 31-second mark, you have that beautiful bright blue sky, and then you have the dark walls of where Vanessa's at, and it's just so gorgeous. This is what was missing last week, was that beautiful color contrast. So the one thing I gotta say in this flashback, so first of all, you can at least tell it's a flashback, thank god, because the colors palette is muted, a little bit more muted. But the thing that I kind of wish we would have had here, and it would have been really, really gorgeous, is the cinematic flashback style animation. But at the same time, I kind of understand why we're not going this route, because of the color you wouldn't be able to, well, if it's done right, you could see the color contrast. But I kind of am happy that Studio Period didn't do that, because the color contrast here is just so gorgeous. The one thing I got a problem with Vanessa, little Vanessa, it's animation wise, at the 9-minute 3-second mark. If you look at her in the anime and look at the panel, the corresponding panel, and god, this is why I wish I had solid state hard drive so I could use XSplit software so I could show you guys what I'm talking about. But I don't have 120 bucks. If someone donates it to my PayPal, I can actually start doing that. But anyway, the problem is that Vanessa's face isn't as expressive as it should be. Like it's just not. You can really see it if you look at it in the corresponding manga panel. It's just not as expressive as it should be. But the other problem I'm having here is that, like in the manga, you see how dark and this dark aura kind of thing going on with the Queen Witch of the Forest, and you're not seeing it here, and it's just a huge issue for me. Another problem here, similar to what we saw, similar to the problems we had last week, is a lot of the symbolism is being lost, because like I think this was in Gosh's flashback in particular that did this really well, where we had this really beautiful contrast of like the light and the darkness going on, and I really wish it was here. It's because like I would have loved to seen like Vanessa, like especially like at the 9-minute 37-second mark, when this is when in particular when or 35, I should say 9-minute 34 through like the 36-second mark, when Queen Witch of the Forest is saying, I won't let you out of there until you invoke that magic. You are my family. You will belong to me. Or you belong to me. I will choose your destiny. I would have loved, like in the manga, you see like this black darkness surrounding Vanessa. And I would have loved to seen that here, because you have that symbolism going on in the manga. And I feel like it's kind of lost here. And it's just a huge issue. And you could have done something really creative with that, Studio Period. And it's just a shame you didn't. You see this at the 10-minute 32-second mark right here? This is what I was hoping we were going to get a little bit earlier, when she was talking with the Queen of the Bitches, as I like to call her, the Queen Witch of the Forest, because you see how like that dark shadow, but that's not the right shape. I'm sorry, that ain't the right shape for the Queen Witch of the Forest. I don't know why Studio Period has a problem with animating shadows, but they just do. But this is what I was looking for not shadows, I should say silhouettes. In shadows. That's what I was looking for like less than a minute ago. I will say this, the string creatures that we're seeing, or the thread creatures, they look beautiful. This is nice. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the conversation Vanessa's having with these creatures. They're really, really good. Ooh, and this is just, I'm guessing this is going to be right before Yami comes in at the 11-minute 14-second mark. I love that we got zoomed out to like the mountain itself. That was a nice touch, and this landscape looks beautiful. It really does. I love it. This is this is a nice touch. And also perfect for the commercial break. Really am enjoying this. The perfect placement for the commercial break. So now we're going to get to the Yami content, and I'm really stoked to see how Studio Period's going to do this. My manga husband has arrived, thank freaking God. Oh, he doesn't look buff like he should. What the fuck? first Zasta, now you did my boy Yami dirty. He does not look muscular like he needs to be. Well, he does have some muscles, but he's supposed to be like way buffer than this. What the fuck, Studio Period? Ugh. And I would say, and this is the 12-minute 4-second mark, and I would say the eyes are a little bit wrong, and you gave Yami a piggy nose. What the shit, guys? But other than, and Yami just looks a little too thin. He's supposed to be thick. I don't know what the fuck is going, why you guys did that. I don't know why Studio Period feels the need to make the characters thinner when he should be thick as fuck. I don't get it. And again, we see it at the 12-minute 19-second mark. Vanessa's face is just not expressive at all, or as expressive as it should be, and it's very annoying. I will say this though, that lighting behind Yami at like the 12-minute 22-second mark. Ooh. I'm loving the lighting behind Yami. It looks beautiful. No! Yami's facial expression is wrong at the 12-minute 50, even though he looks dreamy as fuck. It is still completely wrong at the 12-minute 55-second mark. Okay, why at like the 13-minute, like 20-second mark isn't Yami's like neck like leaning back a little bit? It's kind of bugging me because it's supposed to be doing that. But Yami's looking a little bit better, animation-wise. But goddamn it, consistency is a huge problem with this anime. And I'm talking about like character model-wise. Oh god, it's a huge problem. Okay, 13-minute 43-second mark. I love that lighting with Yami because it's very, very symbolic. Because Yami is representing Vanessa's freedom, so I really, really like that how Studio Period did the lighting there. But I'm kind of annoyed that we didn't get the it's not zoomed in a little bit more. It's kind of bothering me a little bit. And also, god damn it, that does not look like Yami at all. Oh, Jesus Christ, Studio Period, come on, give us some consistency already, damn it. When Vanessa's running out for freedom, and you know, she's saying that I could need to think for myself and shit. This music is just so beautiful. Oh my god. Note to self, Studio Period, or I should say, note my wordings. Note to Studio Period, when Noelle has her transformation then to the Valkyrie transformation, she starts fighting and she feels liberated. We need that soundtrack there. The soundtrack has hit me in the feels, but god damn it, I need the soundtrack for when Noelle is feeling. You know what chapter I'm talking about. When that chapter gets adapted, when Noelle uses her water creation magic and has that water Valkyrie, and she's just going, oh man, we need this soundtrack here. We need it. It would be so beautiful because we're getting that same liberation that Vanessa's feeling here. This is like at the 14-minute, like 30-second mark, roughly. It's that same feeling that Noelle's feeling. So overall, this flashback. The main problems I had with the flashback was just like little Vanessa's range of emotions in the face. That was just my major issue. Also, Yami not looking like Yami was kind of a problem. And also, the Queen Witch of the Forest, like, she didn't look as menacing as she should have. But like the symbolism we got in the flashback was really, really nice. I'm glad the animation reflected the symbolism this time. That was a huge problem last week. And also what really, I think, brought the end, what really made the symbolism stand out to me the most, and I'm so glad that Studio Period did this, was that soundtrack. Oh my god, that utilization of the soundtrack was just perfect. So that the 14-minute 48-second mark, we're out of this flashback. We're gonna get to Rogue. I'm so freaking excited. Let's go. 14-minute 57-second mark. This is where I kind of have problems. There's no sweat. There's supposed to be way more tears coming down. She's supposed to be bawling. And also, she was crying like a little bit before the flashback. So why wasn't she continuously crying anyway after the flashback? Vanessa, I'm talking about Vanessa. And the other thing was that I'm having a problem with is I'm not believing the voice actress. I haven't had a problem with her up until this point, but here is where's that passion? Where's the Black Bulls are my real family? I was looking for that passion. It's not here. I don't know if I'm the only one that's feeling this way, but it's missing. Also, you see it at the 15-minute 8-second mark. You don't see the tears. You don't see the sweat. Like, it's just another problem that Studio Period's been having in all anime. 15-minute 20-second mark. Here it is. Here's Rogue. Oh my god. Oh, this animation for how Rogue came to be. Well, Rogue really shows up at the 15-minute, like, 30, between the 30 and 35-second mark, but the red strings of fate. Oh, this was beautiful. This was beautiful, Studio Period. Oh my god. And the music on top of that, very, very nice touch. Oh, I love that close-up of Rogue's face at the 15-minute, 48-second mark. I love it. So, let me just make sure I'm right here. At the 15-minute, 48-second mark, roughly around there, is when we get to chapter 100's adaptation of the manga. Rogue is so cute! Oh my god! Oh my god! Rogue is just adorable! Oh my god! Rogue rolling around at the 16-minute, like, 9-second mark is just so cute! 16-minute, 32-second mark. Okay, so, even though we don't have the veins, Asta is looking a little bit better. He's looking a little bit buffer, but lack of vein line work is really bugging me. But let's take a look at Rogue here. Rogue actually looks pretty goddamn good. I will give it to you, Studio Period. You made Rogue look beautiful. I'm very, very happy with Rogue. We have a slight problem though, and this is at the 16-minute, 32-second mark. We're supposed to see like black, like off of Asta's body right here, and also off of Asta's arm. There's supposed to be black, like, branches coming off, and we ain't seeing that. I don't know where the fuck that is, but it's supposed to be here. We know it doesn't happen for real, but that 16-minute, 50-second mark, ooh, that was nice. There it is, 17-minute, 44-second mark. There is the, like, the branches like the veins coming off of Asta. That looks so much better, but Asta's face is supposed to be darkened, and it would have looked so, the contrast would have been so much better if we would have had, like, all of Asta's face darkened like it's supposed to be. But I will say here, damn, Asta's looking a lot more thicker than he was earlier. Good stuff. Like, first of all, good stuff for fixing that, but also it reflects on the inconsistencies of Studio Period. But the other problem I'm having is, goddamn, Vanessa's facial expressions are just not expressive enough. It is driving me goddamn nuts. I love it. This is where the utilization of red works in the background, because it's reflecting like what Rogue wants you to see and what is reality, and I love it. And also Rogue's background at like for example, at the 18-minute, like 24-25-second mark is just pure cuteness. I love it. Okay, I got a problem at the 18-minute, like 32-33-second mark when they cut Rogue in half. Like, where's the rest of it? Like, it's supposed to stretch out a little bit more with the string. I don't like that it didn't do that. That was disappointing. But I will say this, that Queen Witch of the Forest's face, where was that expression, like, while back, like at the beginning of this episode? Where was it? Like, we've been missing that shit. I love how Puppet's blood came undone. I love how the sky went back to normal. Oh, that was really, really a nice touch. I love the symbolism with the color scheme. This is beautiful. Ooh, when we're seeing the blood magic, the puppet stuff, the puppet blood magic on Vanessa, like the blood veins. Oh, it's like the 19-minute, like 36 or 7-second mark. This is nice stuff. Blood wave rising above the Queen Witch of the Forest, and like Vanessa's eyes rolling back at the 19-minute 50-second mark. And also this chaotic soundtrack is, oh, I swear, I think this is one of the best soundtrack or episode-wise soundtracks that we've gotten in a long time. It is so beautiful. I love this soundtrack. Oh, okay, so the 19-minute 53-second mark, the only thing I gotta complain is I wish the Queen Witch of the Forest face was black. That's the only thing I gotta complain about. That background is gorgeous. I love it. I wish we would have seen more of that shit last week. Where was that background last week, Studio Period? I know I said I wouldn't complain about backgrounds, but god damn it, that background should have been in last week's episode, period. So we ended with chapter 100's adaptation, and oh my god, this episode was a huge improvement compared to last week. Because we got the utilization of the innovation that Studio Period was trying to do last week, and it worked so much better this week. It really, really did. My main complaint, I would have to say, is, again, a lot of Vanessa's facial expressions. She wasn't expressive enough in the face for me, animation-wise, and this is also young in adult Vanessa. There wasn't enough expression for me. The other thing that I would say I had a problem with was, again, this is typical Studio Period, typical Black Clover anime, is consistency with the animation was a huge problem, but something that they definitely improved on this week was color contrast. Oh my god, color contrast was so much better this week. And you could see it. And it like works symbolically, and also like we had that ethereal whimsical feel going on, which was what we're supposed to have. And what also really helped get that feel for me is the soundtrack this week was really, really gorgeous. Oh my god, that soundtrack was beautiful. I hope that Studio Period starts utilizing the soundtrack more, because when we have emotional moments like this with Vanessa, it just really pulls at your heartstrings and it takes it to another level. But the other problem I had with Vanessa's flashback, like if, I kind of wish it was in that cinematic flashback animation style, because it would have looked a lot better. And I think the symbolism of freedom and the light and the darkness, I think it would have come across a little bit better. That's what I'm talking about, Tabata's message there. I think it would have come across just a little bit better. But other than that, I know that's a teeny like tidbit, but other than that, like this episode was really a huge improvement compared to last week's episode. Definitely. I really enjoyed it this week. I enjoyed Rogue. Rogue is adorable as hell. I love the little meows. The other thing that problem wise is this, when Rogue split in half, is the string wasn't as flexible, but I think that will be, hopefully that will be fixed later on in the series. But I'm very curious what you guys thought of this episode. Do you guys agree with me that the facial expressions, not just for Vanessa, but for the Queen Witch of the Forest as well, like the facial expressions were just emotionally, like how they were expressing their emotions was very inconsistent, and it wasn't enough for me, especially for Vanessa. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdy Sync if you love what I'm doing and want to contribute to keeping this channel alive. There's a few ways you could do that. You could donate to my PayPal, Patreon, GoFundMe, purchase something off my Amazon wishlist, all that's in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, find me on PlayStation Network, that's in the description box below as well. Till next time, Nerdigans, I will be seeing you later. Bye!